Welcome to People here at Radio Taiwan International. I'm Shirley Lin. Today my guest is Sunil Kaushal, who is President and Chief Executive Officer for Standard Chartered Bank here in Taiwan. Mr. Kaushal has over 20 years of banking experience. He has been with Standard Chartered for over 10 years, 3 of those with Standard Chartered Bank here in Taiwan. Now, Mr. Kaushal is from India. And, well, first of all, welcome, Mr. Kaushal, or Sunil.
Thank you very much. I think Sunil will do. And it's great to be here. It's great to be here.
All right.
And it's a lovely morning, lovely day, and good to be here with you.
All right, great. I'm really glad to spend some time with you, getting to know you more.
Thank you.
All right. Now, you have 2 children.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. And you've been here in Taiwan a little over 3 years. How are you liking it so far?
I think Taiwan, both professionally and personally, has been a fantastic experience. It's a large business for us, for the bank, and for us as a family, it's been one of the best experiences we've had as an expat family. So fantastic people, great food, and a lot of places to go out and see and enjoy yourselves.
Right. Well, let's go way back. I know that you got your education in India at the Bombay University. Okay, and then, but you furthered your education at Harvard as well as London Business School. One more.
INSEAD.
Yes. So what were those experiences like? Yes. I mean, you've been around quite a many places around the world.
Yes. My education essentially was in India, as you said. I did my university, majored in economics, accountancy, moved on to do my chartered accountancy, which was my professional degree, again in India, and then did general management and leadership courses in the institutions you mentioned, Harvard, London Business School, and INSEAD. These are the short stints. I think it was absolutely fantastic because I had the opportunity of doing these courses at different stages of my career, and I was able to get a lot more studying one in different geographies and also having different levels of experience when you go in and do these courses. So all in all, I think it has turned out extremely well, and I've benefited a lot from all the education I've got as well as these courses that I attended.
You like numbers. Yes.
I like numbers, yes, when they are revenues and profits, yes. I don't like numbers when they're costs.
Okay. How did you get into banking?
Interesting. I was a good student in school, but frankly from a family of engineers and doctors. So not much of a finance background. And to that extent, I'm talking about 26, 27 years ago. Not much of a background, as I said, in finance, not much of guidance that, this is what you should be looking at doing. So I had to make my own decisions. And after, passing out from my school, my counselor actually asked me to go and look at becoming a doctor because my science grades were good.
Oh, you're good at a lot of things besides just numbers.
Yes, but I've not finished my story.
Okay.
I can't stand the sight of blood. I said if I have to become a doctor and if I see blood anywhere, probably I'll faint before the patient. So I said that's not a good idea. And then, yeah, there were suggestions around becoming an engineer and so on and so forth. Frankly, I was not interested. I had a desire to get into banking from an age when I was with my father, accompanying him, going to his office. I used to see, there used to be a big bank, I will not name that bank, at the ground floor or the first level of this big building. Okay. And I was very impressed, looking at all the people sitting there, suit, ties, working in a nice environment. And I came from a background, as I said, my father was an engineer, working in the factory. He was general manager of a factory. And I thought the environment in the bank was a lot better. So I said, with my grades, with a bit of counseling that I got later on, I thought I'll follow a career in finance, not really banking. And then I moved into banking.
Oh, wow. That's really great. So it must be that at one point you said that I am going to get myself into that bank one day, and it happened. You're an ambitious man.
Yes, I think in my mind, when I got into finance, and I had a pretty simple theory that if you're in finance, you got to be in an institution which the main business there is finance or is dealing in money. So I didn't want to go and work in a big company which had one of its functions as finance, whereas in banking all you do is about finance. Everything that you do is about finance. So I wanted to be in the mainstream, and that's how I got into banking. That's how I chose banking as a career.
All right. You've been around many different places around the world. Can you talk about those places you've lived in and compare them, and what's your impression of one country to the other?
Yes, I have been fortunate enough to have lived and worked in different countries. I have been working from the age of 19, 20, because I started along with my chartered accountancy. I had to do office articleship, as they were called. So it was a 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
And so I've been at it now for 27 years, and in banking now this would be my 24th year in banking. And I've been fortunate, as I said. I left for the first time. I left India to work overseas almost 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
where did you go?
I went to New York, or we went to New York. I was married. I was married by then.
Uh-huh.
And so we went to New York, and it was a fantastic experience. A very, very lively city, big financial center. First overseas posting for me, and I would say if I could kind of give an analogy here or an example, I was a boy when I went there, and after 2 years I came out as a man in the world of financial services. So that was a great experience. And any young aspiring banker, I would say, you've got to spend a few years, as you have to in an emerging market. You should also spend it in a big financial center, and so that was great.
Uh-huh.
And then I moved on to a shorter stint in London.
Okay.
Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, back to Singapore, and then to Taiwan.
All
So
right.
I have done my rounds.
You've done your rounds, okay. Is there any place you want to go next?
In terms of, I think mobility, we are very mobile. We are an international family. We enjoy experiences in a new market. I think in many ways, after 3, 4, 5 years, there is always that urge, that excitement about going in and working in a new location.
Okay.
But as I said, it has to be either a very large emerging market or a very large financial center. That would be my criteria to go out if I have to select a new location.
Well, Taiwan, it's been a little over 3 years now, so maybe another 2 years you're probably going to be picking yourself and moving along, you think?
Yes, I think that's very much a part of the career of an international banker. So in terms of exact timing, it's very difficult to predict. But Taiwan has been, as I said, a phenomenal experience, because this is a market where we've made 3 acquisitions. We haven't done that in many markets. And bringing in 3 different institutions, people with 3 different organizational cultures, and bringing it all together, forming a strategy around it, executing on the strategy, and then seeing the results in terms of profitability, in terms of the growth, in terms of the brand visibility. I think it's been very satisfying for the entire team, and particularly for myself.